Our officials today: Roger Ayers, Tim Nestor, Jerry Heater. Carolina and Miami in the first game of 4 today here at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Keep an eye on Kamari Murphy. He's jumping center right now for Miami. He is a Brooklyn native and playing in front of a lot of family and friends. Had a terrific game against the Orange yesterday. 16 points and 10 rebounds.
Miami starts off in man-to-man, and Miami's going to
for the Hurricanes. Roy Williams told us before the game Brown got anything he wanted in the first game. Made threes, got putbacks, drove into the lane, which is what he's trying to do right now, and he gets Miami on the board first.
Miami goes to a high ball screen. They didn't run it up by the top of the key. They ran it out more toward half court, and that gets a big guy out of the lane where he cannot recover, and then Miami can attack the basket off the dribble.
Do you expect Miami to put Carolina's bigs in ball screens as much as they can as Hicks ties it?
Ball screens, dribble handoffs, the next scholarship sport.
Hicks with all 6 for Carolina.
Well, Carolina's, they're kind of legendary for their ping pong play. They used to play Texas style, I guess, where if you lost, you had to, the other guy got to hit the ball at you with your shirt off.
Reed knocks down the 3. Davon Reed, the senior out of nearby Ewing, New Jersey, and the recipient of the ACC Skip Prosser Award this year for the top scholar athlete in men's basketball in the conference. Jackson around and out on his 3.
Well, Justin Jackson, his last couple of games, 9 of 27 from the field, 2 of 13 from 3. They ran a little staggered screen for him on the weak side. He was wide open. He's got to get some of those to fall. Being guarded by an excellent defender in Davon Reed.
Miami with only 9 eligible scholarship players as Meeks comes up with a block, but Murphy stays with it. And up
2 of 15 his last 3.
And made 1 out of 7 from beyond the arc against Duke. Did a lot of other things well. Found ways to score. Had some incredible passes in that game, but struggling with the outside shot. Barry on Jaquan Newton, and Newton's a big-time scorer. Almost 14 points per game, the junior out of Philadelphia. And just losing it out of bounds is DeJuan Huell, the freshman from Miami, who's back from a sprained ankle that cost him yesterday's game.
Here's what Miami's doing on offense. You can see they're going to set this screen, this ball screen, way out top. And look where Kennedy Meeks is. He's guarding outside the paint. Then they attack off the dribble. There is nobody in there. The paint is not packed. You're going to see Miami continue to do this time after time after time.
Nice feed ahead after the steal. Reed finds Brown, and Brown with a strong finish. Good play at both ends. Pinson will draw the foul on his drive.
Well, that's what North Carolina does after.
As Brown nearly lost it to Barry again, and now Carolina does have it. 2-on-1. Barry finishes.
He is such a good finisher. You see how he used his body there and used his body to shield off the defender. So you've got to go over his left shoulder in order to get to his right hand.
Huell looking inside. Ozundu over Bradley, in and out. And Brick the save.
And look at the Carolina big guys running the floor. Just by running, they can get you into a scramble situation. It is harder to set your defense.
Hicks, who got off to a fast start, is called for the travel.
Bruce Brown having a little bit of a difficulty going against the pressure on the ball brought by Joel Barry. Barry was able to get a hand on it. Brown saves it, and North Carolina able to take it the other way. And Brown, just a freshman. What a terrific finish. You know, Joel Barry may be a small player, but he is an outside 2 Tar Heels in double figures.
In that game, Carolina shot 21% in the first half, only scored 22 points. They did better in the second half, but they still were beaten handily, 77-62.
Yeah, it was never a game. There was never a moment in that game where you thought North Carolina was going to win. Just a really poor performance.
Vasiljevic for 3. And Miami sprinting back to try to keep Carolina from getting an easy one in transition.
How about how Miami found Vasiljevic? He was scouted on foreign trips by Cal and the bank is open apparently. Cal and Yale.
9 minutes in. Are you happy with where you're at right now?
Yeah, you're happy. I mean, I think if you're Roy Williams, they're not upset either because you're getting opportunities. And a good shot off that screen for the screener there for North Carolina. Nate Britt, who has not hit.
For Wake and Syracuse did for their chances yesterday here.
I think Syracuse, I think Syracuse is in. I think too many teams would have to leapfrog the Orange. I do not understand why there's so much discussion over non-conference schedule. I mean, the committee always says your total body of work is your total body of work. When you look at your total body, if it's your total body of work, what difference does it make? What your conference has been a wonderful place for the ACC tournament, as has Charlotte. There have been times it's been in Atlanta and Washington, D.C. A little 2-3 zone right now for Miami out of the out-of-bounds under.
And Meeks will make them pay with a turnaround.
Yeah, that's just way too easy. Get the ball in the middle, and North Carolina's big guys have got really good post moves. When they catch the ball, they can go over their strong shoulder for a turnaround jumper. They go over their weak shoulder for a jump hook. And all of them have that drilled into them. It's really well-developed and well-taught big guys.
Carolina on a run right now. Miami needs a bucket. Reed on the drive is fouled. Carolina bench didn't like the call.
Off the out-of-bounds underneath, Miami went to a 2-3 zone. It seemed like there was a little bit of a confusion, and Kamari Murphy, you had Kennedy Meeks just run right past him while he was pointing and trying to communicate with teammates about the perimeter. And that's just a really easy shot that these big guys take. A lot of coaches don't like their big guys taking turnaround jumpers. I think it is a fabulous. Do you like the idea about having the tournament in just one place, irrespective of where it is?
No, I think it is nice to move it around. Great backdoor cut right there, and the slam for Bruce Brown. I think it's nice to move it around. I actually thought Washington was terrific last year, and that's where the Big Ten tournament is this year. The Big Ten will be at Madison Square Garden next year, but a week earlier.
Which I think is a really smart and savvy move.
The timing or the location?
Both.
Jackson, another miss from beyond the arc. Meeks keeps it alive. Miami ball. In the short corner, driving it into traffic. Offensive foul on Hicks.
Well, Hicks went right into Kamari Murphy instead of going straight up. And now I think they're going to say he was inside of the restricted area. Yep, good call. That was a good call.
So the officials talk it over, and they do change the call, and the help defender cannot be inside the restricted area. That's why it's changed to a block.
Well, the truth is it was a block anyway. The overwhelming majority of charge block plays are blocks, and sometimes they're called charges, but that was a block no matter where the restricted arc was.
So instead of it being an offensive foul on Hicks, it's a block on Murphy. It's the second foul on Murphy. That's big. And Hicks is going to the line for Carolina.
The free throw line is going to be a big factor in this game. The last game, Miami shot a ton of free throws. I think they shot 30 free throws. And North Carolina did not get to the free throw line. That was a big difference in the game.
The year with a sprained ankle. As he got healthy is when Kenny Williams got hurt, suffered a knee injury, lost for the season. As Meeks has his second foul line jumper of the game.
Pretty simple, just come up into shirts around everything they're doing, and they've settled for some bad shots.
Let's check in with Allison Williams.
Well, Jay is exactly right. I spoke to Miami assistant coach Chris Caputo during the last time out. He said UNC's ball pressure has been really good. It's led to the 9 turnovers for Miami, but they just have to continue to attack and look to kick it out.
And Carolina getting down the court in a hurry, and Hicks converts again.
So just because the other team is trying to slow you down doesn't mean you have to walk the ball up court. And North Carolina is looking to push it at every opportunity. And that ball, that was a heck of a catch by Tony Bradley because it was deflected. He caught it with his left hand and still had the presence of mind to give that to Isaiah Hicks as he dove from the top of the key down to the basket. North Carolina's big guys are really engaged.
How about Hicks? 13 in January in Louisville. Really looking forward to that game. That's going to be a lot of fun.
So you could have made a great, and a lot of people did make a great case for Luke Kennard as ACC Player of the Year. I mean, I didn't have a vote, but I would have voted for Justin Jackson because I think you honor the best player on the best team. But Kennard, from a statistical standpoint, hard to argue with. 20 points per game, led the ACC in scoring, over 50% from the field, 5 rebounds a game. He had a fabulous regular season.
And a constant for them in the season that didn't have a lot of constants with all the injuries and other issues that were going on for the Blue Devils as Bradley converts inside. And right now Miami, they are just ill-equipped to handle the Carolina bigs.
Well, you can't let a big guy just cut across your face right into the middle of the lane. I mean, that's just a lack of awareness, lack of defense by Miami's big guys. It's one thing to give up the drive. It's another thing to give up a paint touch right in front of the rim.
And again, their regular big guys are sitting on the bench in foul trouble right now, so they're using Rodney Miller, who has not played much at all this season, as Vasiljevic converts and has a chance for three.
See, I don't get that call there. Look, I think most of these are blocks, but Isaiah Hicks was falling backwards. Why is that less of a charge than if you're just standing there? Now watch this. He's there. He's there. Now he's as there as the last one. Now I think that was a block too. I think all these are blocks. You should be encouraged to go block for one here. They just want to get the best possible shot. Good screen by May.
Meeks, no. Miami ball. One-on-one. Brown lost it. Got it back and finishes.
With all that contact, no call there. When Seventh Woods tried to take a charge right by the ACC, that would have been an impossible charge to get. And this has been a solid finish to the half. The last few plays for Miami to keep this under double digits.
And they get one more stop here to close it out.
Don't want to give up an offensive rebound here.
Woods lost it. Miami's got a chance. Brown, yes!
But what a bad ending of the half for North Carolina, and a great one for Miami. To go in only down 5 after the way the Hurricanes played is a remarkable finish.
7.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to keep. I think North Carolina certainly has to do a better job on his defensive glass, not give up second shots. But Carolina shot 52% in that first half, and they also got to the free throw line 11 times. There aren't a ton of offensive rebounds available for them. The fact that they have none, is that an issue? Yes, but when you're not missing shots, it's hard to get offensive rebounds when you make the shot.
Amari Murphy, who missed the last 7 minutes of the half because of 2 fouls, starts off the second half of the Hurricanes with a bucket to get him back within 3. And then Joel Berry knocks down a 3 against Duke on the weekend. He went 5 for 5 from three-point range, and he's a 42% shooter from beyond the arc on the season.
That was an extraordinary individual performance that he had against Duke, with 28 points, 5 of 5 in the first half on threes. It was just remarkable.
Meeks down after the miss by Reed.
Isaiah Hicks does such a good job of running the floor. Now they get into their secondary break, even against zone.
Hicks, nice bounce pass. Meeks with a finish.
That's absolutely beautiful. You get a flash into the middle that brings up the middle guy, and an immediate pocket pass down to the baseline to Kennedy Meeks. They got good movement in transition. Isaiah Hicks had a rim run right down the middle. They get into their secondary. That was just beautiful.
We've talked about this a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, but for a high major like Carolina to have the experience that they do, 2 seniors and 3 juniors.
And Roy Williams normally would have a couple of one-and-dones. And has had plenty, but because of all the off-court issues, there's a 3 by Justin Jackson. One of the first open shots he's had in a while. But recruiting's been affected by the NCAA issue that North Carolina has been facing the last few years. And so I think even the most ardent critic of Roy Williams would have to admit he can either recruit his tail off or he can coach his tail off, or both. I happen to think it's both. But what is it, 14 years in this league, and he's got 8 regular season championships, 17 in 29 years overall.
And a bucket away from winning the national championship last year, and a definite contender to win the national championship this year. Now they're getting on the offensive glass, and it's paying off.
Theo Pinson not afraid to pick up that 4th foul. He was climbing the ladder there. Flash in the middle by Isaiah Hicks that drew 2 defenders in that 2-3 zone. That's just absolutely beautiful. Kamari Murphy and Lawrence go to him. You got Davon Reed up top.
Jackson at his best right there, and the lead grows to 10.
Isn't that remarkable after a score?
Do you think Carolina is a 1 seed no matter what happens this week for them?
I do. I mean, I don't think they can lose this game and expect to hold a 1, but it also depends on what everybody else does. And There's the North Carolina secondary break coming at you just because they push the ball up court so quickly. Try to slow them down. They're still going to push it up. But look, if North Carolina loses this game and Oregon wins the Pac-12 championship, you can make an argument that Gonzaga is solidified as a 1, I believe. I think North Carolina is too. But
what about Kansas and Villanova?
Yeah, I think they're set.
Yeah.
I think the 1 line is set, barring something crazy happening. And usually a team that's going to be a 1 seed isn't going to lose their opening round game.
Tipped away by Lawrence. Here comes Brown. And Brown's going to get an easy one.
Boy, what a bad pass by Theo Pinson. You can say that Kennedy Meeks needed to hold off his defender, but you have to pass away from the defense. You're not throwing it to the offense. You're passing away from the defense.
Over the top, Berry to Hicks.
That's that wing ball screen in North Carolina's second turnovers for North Carolina. And Jaquan Newton has got 0. He is 0 of 1 in the game, has not scored. You're not going to beat North Carolina with one of your top scorers not scoring at all.
Averages almost 14 per game. Brown with a wide open 3, yet every time we're about ready to count them out. Tipped away by Berry, and here come the heels. Jackson with an acrobatic finish.
Boy, what a catch and shot by Justin Jackson. That wasn't an easy alley-oop to finish. They have a great touch for mid-range things. Not that that was necessarily mid-range, but that was hardly an easy layup.
Expression never changes on the face of Jackson either, no matter how well things are going. Here's numbers again for Carolina. Britt, sweet bounce pass to Berry.
One of the top finishers in college basketball at, what is he, 6'1", wearing his high tops? If that,
yeah. Carolina's got 8 field goals this half. 7 of them have come with an assist.
Well, this is where Carolina's got to think about not necessarily ratcheting up the defense, but keeping it at a high level as Anthony Lawrence Jr. knocks that shot down.
Lawrence, who was a point guard in high school, plays more of a 3 spot, more of a small forward position for Miami. And because he's actually the second biggest guy out there at times, he guards the other team's 4-man at times, guarding Luke May right now. Britt back to May. He'll launch a 3. Got it.
This pick and pop action. I don't know why Miami wanted to guard Nate Britt for.
He's a good shooter. I think he's missed 5 threes this half, and 4 of the 5 were really open looks.
Jaquan Newton getting set to come back into the game. When he comes in, he's got to impact this game. He has not scored yet.
Bradley inside again, as you pointed out in the first half, keeping that ball high.
You hear people talk 5 or 6 right now. He's really become a good passer.
Great ball movement by Carolina, but Hicks couldn't finish at the rim, and now that went in. The pass went in as a 3. I think they're going to check it at the next break to see if it's a 2 or a 3, but it was an alley-oop attempt that went into the bucket.
Been able to get. Theo Pinson has really done a good job passing. And what an excellent shot. Most guys have a different shooting motion, but he's really perfected this.
26-6 on the season on the Tar Heels. They finished 14-4 in the regular season. 2 games up on anybody else. And there's Berry with another drive and finish.
But if you're going to press 4,
seed the North Carolina Tar Heels. And a Miami turnover. Miscommunication between Murphy and Vasiljevic as Hicks comes back into the game. Miami appears to be safely in the tournament. I think everybody would agree with that.
The problem is with this loss, they're probably going to be an 8 or a 9 seed, which means they're going to face a 1. If they win, they face a 1 in the second round. That's usually that means a ticket home in the first weekend. You'd rather be a 10 or an 11 than an 8 or a 9.
Yeah. Because if you can win that first round game, in theory, you get a, in quotes, an easier second round matchup against a 2 or a 3.
In this tournament for the second year in a row. It is a reward to be the #1 seed, but one of the things that's difficult about this game, it is not easy to play a noon game right out of the gate. And you're playing a team that has already played a game. They are a little bit in tune with playing in the tournament already. And it's a little bit harder to get up for a noon game. Not literally, but emotionally.
And the idea behind it is you get more rest before the semifinal. It kind of goes back to the days when the championship was on Sunday afternoon. The semis were on Saturday afternoon, so the #1 seed would play a quarter during the day Friday, whereas the 2 and the 3 would have to play Friday evening and have a turnaround to Saturday afternoon. So it's kind of still in play, although the format has changed. But North Radley with another rebound. White will get another opportunity and make the most of it.
Really good shot fake. DJ Vasiljevic has been making a lot of shot fakes on the other end, and he just got one that put him into the stands.
Inside a minute and a half to go. Vasiljevic can't get away from White. Hands it off. And May down with a rebound for Carolina. So Miami will sit back on Sunday and wait to find out what kind of a seed they are and where they're going as May knocks down to 3. And Carolina will move on to the semifinals, and a lot of Carolina fans in the house here in New York, and that'll probably only increase into the semis tomorrow.
Luke May has really improved from last year to this. A lot of players make big jumps between their freshman and sophomore years, and he has made a really big jump. A reliable player that always plays hard when he comes in. I know Roy Williams wants him to be a more cerebral player out there, but he really makes an impact on the game when he's in.
Yep.
I still can't stop laughing about what Sean May said to us a few weeks ago, talking about Luke May and his brothers, when Sean said, "You should see those guys eat." I don't know why I thought that was so funny.
A household of big guys who can really run up the grocery bill, huh? Shot clock turned on. There's Sean May, a terrific player in his day, part of the 2005 National Championship team. And Carolina running away from Miami in the second half and winning 78-53 to move on to the semifinals. Jim Larrañaga got to be disappointed with the performance of his team. They'll await their fate on Sunday, find out what seed there are and where they're going. And Carolina will look ahead to the semis tomorrow night against the winner of our next quarterfinal game today.